The high-end allure of CrossFire lies in ultimate performance and image quality, and AMD gives resellers a wealth of options to maximize both. 3 different display techniques optimize CrossFire performance for any need. In fact, the ATI Catalyst driver automatically picks the best CrossFire method for any game in its extensive profile database. The first technique, alternate frame rendering, offers the greatest potential performance improvements. In this mode, one ATI Radeon board generates even-numbered frames, while the other renders odd frames. Scissoring mode splits the screen horizontally, with each card processing its own section. Note that the top and bottom scissoring sections can be different sizes. CrossFire dynamically assigns an appropriate load to each card. This is why ATI doesn't require CrossFire GPUs to be identical. The third technique, Super Tile Mode, divides each frame into an alternating checkerboard of 32 by 32 pixel tiles. Half of the tiles are assigned to each GPU, evenly balancing the workload. Sometimes games and programs can't take direct advantage of super tiling, alternate frame rendering, or scissoring, and graphics performance is limited by a CPU bottleneck. This leaves GPU processing power to spare. So the Super ATI CrossFire mode has both cards render the same frame, applying different multi-sampling patterns to each. When the 2 versions are completed, they're combined in the compositing engine, yielding an extremely high-quality image. The ATI Radeon X1950 XTX is the flagship of today's CrossFire-compatible graphics cards. The card fits into a PCI Express x16 enabled motherboard, taking advantage of the latest serial interface technology for graphics and transferring 3.2 gigabytes per second of information in each direction. Moreover, the card uses a dual-slot design with a proprietary fan shroud and cooler to efficiently move warm air from the chassis, exhausting it out the card's backplane vent. On the backplane, you'll find 2 dual-link DVI connectors, each capable of outputting display resolutions up to 2560 by 1600 and a video input and output jack. The board shows off several notable components. First, there's the ATI Radeon X1950 XTX GPU, a 90nm chip leveraging 384 million transistors in a 48 shader architecture. In other words, the chip features a lot of programmable logic used to generate the most realistic on-screen effects possible. AMD packs the card with 512 megabytes of GDDR4 memory, an industry first, running at an effective speed of 2 GHz to the processing core. This yields 64 gigabytes per second of memory throughput, up from the 49.6 gigabytes per second found in the ATI Radeon X1900. The ATI Rage Theater companion chip delivers video input and output. Importantly, the X1950 XTX is one of the first cards to include HDCP support, an important capability for anyone looking to play back high-def protected video under Windows Vista. In order to ensure that every CrossFire PC operates reliably, efficiently, and at expected performance levels, AMD validates 3 other platform components for CrossFire certification. The first is system memory. Extensive testing by AMD ensures that memory modules meet or exceed critical standards set for timing, frequency, and voltage. Take a quick look at the power specs printed on the side of any power supply. Specification ratings can greatly differ from one vendor to the next. Again, extensive CrossFire certification testing goes into making sure power supplies deliver sufficient wattage on the 12-volt rail to provide plenty of power even under the heaviest use. Quality parts, thick coils of copper, and heavy gauge wire in a power supply help make this possible. Finally, AMD tests motherboards to verify interoperability. There are several chipsets capable of enabling CrossFire, so certification helps guarantee a consistent customer experience across all of them. The Intel 975X Express chipset delivers CrossFire support through 16 lanes of PCI Express connectivity stemming from its memory controller, and 4 branching off the ICH7 hub. On a fully featured motherboard like Intel's famous Bad Axe, 2 CrossFire cards consume 8 lanes, each in the 2 primary graphics slots, while a third slot is available for upcoming ATI Radeon graphics physics processing. Enthusiasts eyeing additional flexibility and performance can opt for the CrossFire Express 3200 platform from AMD, sporting a total of 40 PCI Express lanes from a single piece of silicon. AMD clearly designed the 3200 with enthusiasts and overclocking in mind. All platform settings are fully configurable. Even more important, the 2 PCI Express by 16 slots on CrossFire Express 3200 boards run at true by 16 signaling rates. As games evolve to include more detail, this chipset gives your customer headroom to scale and fine-tuning options galore. Once you have the certified components, building a high-end CrossFire machine is fairly straightforward, though resellers want to keep a few things in mind. First, opt for a chassis with the technical considerations to house CrossFire. An enthusiast box with dual-slot graphics cards probably boasts a high-end processor and plenty of memory. Look for a case that ensures ample cooling and easy access to hardware. Keep in mind that each Radeon X1950 XTX card requires an auxiliary power connection. Again, it's important to use a CrossFire certified power supply with dual 6-pin power connectors and expansion to spare. CrossFire configurations might consist of 2 top-end cards, like the Radeon X1950 CrossFire Edition and a standard Radeon X1950 XTX. The CrossFire Edition sports 1 DVI and 1 special DMS connector, while the regular X1950 XTX hosts 2 DVI outputs. In this case, an external dongle connector moves screen data from the standard card to the CrossFire Edition board. Nearly all CrossFire configurations can now use a software connection, enabling the 2 cards to communicate across the PCI Express bus. This makes the external cable optional for many higher-end CrossFire cards. Not a bad idea for times when maximum bandwidth isn't necessary. The latest ATI Radeon graphics cards, like the X1950 Pro and X1650 XT, use an internal CrossFire interconnect system to enable communication directly from card to card. The principal purpose of CrossFire is to accelerate graphics performance, enabling unprecedented visual quality in the process. Continuing improvements have expanded the technology into an entire enthusiast platform resellers can stand behind with confidence. The benefits of a highly configurable North Bridge, AMD-optimized power management engine, standards-based hypertransport communications pipeline, and fully modernized South Bridge will help build an even stronger CrossFire ecosystem in the future and exemplify AMD's leadership position as a platform solution provider.